What is a paten? So normally I talk about theology or church history or archaeology on this video. However, I recently got a request from some of the kids at my traditional Lat Mass to make a video on this liturgical vessel. What is a paten and where did it come from and how long has it been used in the church? Now, those of you who do not know, a paten is a small circular in shape golden metal plate that's used to hold the host, i.e. the bread, which is consecrated to become the body of Christ at Mass. This is actually a very ancient liturgical vessel. So we have mention of it actually as recently as the late 1st, early 2nd century in the Liber Pontificalis, describing it as one of the liturgical vessels that would have been used by Pope um, Zephyrinus. Furthermore, back in those days, glass would have actually been used, as well as silver, gold, wood, and other similar materials for patens. And there's even the discussion that there may have in Rome there may have even been linen sacks that would have actually been used for this purpose. So the initial purpose of the paten in those days would have been essentially everyone would have come to Mass, they would have brought their own piece of bread for the offertory. They would have put it on the paten, and yes, it would have been probably quite large, just from as an obvious matter of fact. And then they were taken down after consecration. The Blessed Sacrament was taken and distributed to the faithful there as well. Now, as you can see, the paten in the early church probably also doubled as a ciborium. Now, for those of you who are concerned and any Novus Catholics saying, see, glass was used, glass is okay to use in the early church, we don't have to use that, use gold and silver. Keep in mind, glass in those days would have been considered quite precious. It would have been very much an elite thing to use. Clay and stone would have been more common everyday materials for eating and drinking. Glass, even in the medieval period, I remember hearing about how glass windows were put in. Not stained glass, simple glass windows were put in by Henry VIII when he was still Catholic, when the renovations were done at the Shrine of Our Lady of Walsingham. So glass in those days was actually considered to be quite precious, and for a poor persecuted minority at that time, again, we're talking barely out of the apostolic age, at this time when glass patens were used, it would have been, for all intents and purposes, a man-made semi-precious stone. Essentially, glass was considered quite an elite thing. Now, as time went on, then the use of the paten changed. People would communicate less frequently, and so the necessity to have these large patens gradually fell into disuse. However, its use was retained in order to keep particles of the Blessed Sacrament from spreading around after the consecration. I am not aware of any symbolism of the paten off the top of my head. I did a very brief bit of research. I'm sure there probably is. That being said, there has been some changes in how the paten is used after the Second Vatican Council. Those quite minor. Now, if you do a properly celebrated Novus Ordo Mass, the paten will be used. The large host of the priest uses will be placed on the paten. That being said, one thing that is different, and I will have a piece of good china here off to my side. I will show I'll use this to demonstrate what's different. In the traditional Lat Mass pre-Vatican II and still SSPX Masses today, the priest will show his reverence to the Blessed Sacrament by kissing the paten. So the prayer where it says, the prayer right before communion, where the priest says, "Grant us peace in our days." In the traditional Lat Mass, the priest will take the paten, slide the host directly onto the corporal, and kiss it, make the sign of the cross with it, and then slip it back under the host again as he says that prayer. This has been eliminated after this this has been eliminated after the Second Vatican Council in the New Roman Rite, unfortunately. So that being said, this is a very short explanation about how long patents have been used. In the early church, they are ancient, and I do mean ancient. And they would have used precious materials. So I am aware of them having used wood as well. Again, this is early. Again, they're talking about poor early Christians, literally poor and persecuted. And so they were trying to do the best what they had. How do we know that? Because they were using gold even in the early period. It's not like gold wasn't used up until then. It's just that they had other options as well, and glass was still quite precious. Anyway, that's a very short, very brief history lesson on the use of patents. I got most of my information on the New Advent website that discusses the use of patents, and I hope you have a great day. And if you ever get a chance, check out an SSPX Traditional Lat Mass. They're quite great, quite useful. They're very. If you want to learn about the early faith, the early traditional Catholic faith, early church, they're where you want to go. God bless and have a great day.